Hey everyone, it's Patty from pspapercrafts. Thanks for joining me today. I'm not live. I'm in the middle, if you follow me, of selling my house and having showings, and I'm trying to do some crafting in between. So today's a video, but I want to make this card using the Wisteria Wishes Bundle. It's so pretty. It's hanging there, and it's got this beautiful wisteria flowers hanging in there. And I have faith is about trusting. So this is the stamp set. You can stamp these. I actually cut them with the dies, but I just wanted to go over this. You can have these hanging from here, and then I've seen people put them up here so they're upright, and I don't know that it's a wisteria. It's probably a different flower. I'm trying to think. It seems like something I've seen. Hang in there. Even when you don't understand, faith is about trusting, happiness grows within, to a friend who's all kinds of wonderful. So I think they're fantastic sentiments, and I love this stamp set. So these are the dies, and this is what we're going to use today. They have dies that will cut out the stamped images. So the flowers, the flowers, the stems, and then the branch. And then there's this big long kind of branch. Oh, I haven't used it yet, so it's taped down still. Wow. And you could probably do that this way and have them hanging and just have a whole branch. They're really beautiful wisteria if you see them in person. But today I'm going to be cutting with the kind of the detailed ones, not the ones that cut out the stamped images. So there's some detailed dies with the flowers and the leaves. So we're going to be using these. And I'm cutting them with our glimmer paper. And this is the 2022-2024 In Color colors. And you get 4 of each of 5 colors. So this is the Sweet Sorbet, the Parakeet Party, which I used for the leaves, Tahitian Tide, see if I get these right, I'm studying them, Starry Sky, and then Orchid, what is it called? Orchid Oasis, I think. So I use these 2 colors for the flowers, and then I use this for the leaves. But I'll have all of this in my blog. If you go to pspapercrafts.com, you can get all the instructions and the measurements and all of that good stuff. So let's get started. I'm going to first cut out my pieces. So I have my card base is Starry Sky, and then I have a white layer, and then I have my glimmer paper. This is Starry Sky, and this one I cut out with, I'm looking for it. I thought I had it handy. It's my new favorite die for labels. This is called Stylish Shapes, and it has these stitched squares, circles, and then these banners. So I use this one. But if you don't have this, you can just, you know, cut a piece and banner it, and then we're going to emboss it. So let's get these aside, and we'll start our cutting. This works with the mini, which is nice. And let me just open this up. I have this just sitting on my desk. So I'm going to put in my base plate and then the cutting plate. So we'll have one on the bottom. And I did run this back and forth because I wanted to make sure I cut through. This paper is a little bit thick. And I'm going to cut this one twice because I want 2 sets of leaves, and then I'm going to cut them apart, and you'll see what I'm going to do. So let's just put this through and run it through. I try to go slow so it doesn't pop. So it may look like I'm having a hard time, but I'm actually just kind of going slow. So let's take this out, and there's 2 little pieces. Let me just pull this over. There's just 2 little pieces that pop out on the leaves. And then there's holes here that help you push out or pull out the thing that you cut. Okay, so we have one of these, and we want to do a second one. And it's nice because this has different looks. It's got, or different, like, I feel like there's a little mark there, but we'll go with it. It's got different, like an ombre look is what I'm trying to say. And so you'll have different colors, just like nature, right? You know, nothing is exactly full on the same color. So let's go through and then we'll go back just to give it that extra pressure there to cut through this thick paper. So we'll take this off and, oops, almost dropped it. Poke these two out. And then we can poke out the leaves. I'll tell you, every project I make, I'm cleaning up completely after it. I mean, everything, even my cutting tools, everything, because people are coming and seeing my place, and I want it to look nice. So these are the two pieces, and you'll see the different in color. Isn't that pretty? And I'm gonna actually cut one of them apart anyway. So let's do this one. I'm going to cut this piece out of, and you can go light or dark. I think I'm gonna do more of a dark, or maybe I'll do it where it changes color. How's that? So we'll put it up like this, and then run this through. And then I'm going to do two. Oh, I think I did another one actually. I'm looking at this one. I think I did the thicker one in the middle, but that's okay. We'll do the thinner one in the middle. So there's two of these, and one is thicker and more full, and one is like a thinner one. And I did it the wrong way, but that's okay, no problems. So now I'm just gonna push these out. I can't even talk. I'm just gonna go through and get those little pieces out with my brush. Okay. So here's one, so pretty. And now let's do, this is the darker color. So that one was the Orchid Oasis, and this is the Starry Sky. So these are all new colors. They just came out this month actually, so you have to bear with me while I learn them. We'll go through and through. So again, I'm gonna pull this over. I hope I'm in camera here. And I'll just run this over with my brush. Now there is a brush that goes on this. This is the old brush. But now if you take your pick tool, you can unscrew this and put the brush on it. I just keep my old one out usually. Sometimes I switch it around. So here's this. So pretty. See the difference in color? And then I'm going to do another one like that. And maybe I will, I'm trying to think if I should do it like this, just to get some variation. I'm going to do it like this. Sorry. I'm trying to decide as we go. Oh, and look at this. I have some pieces here. So this is my little lint brush. Pull them off. That is always in my craft room. I learned that and I love that idea. It's just one of those rolly lint brushes and it just picks up all your pieces. It's great even for your workspace if you have dimensionals all over, you know, there's all kinds of stuff, little bits and pieces that you can just pick up very easily. So let's do it this way. And then we're done with the die cutting. I already cut the label out. Have the leaves, have the flowers. And put those aside. Let's put this aside. And just get this last one, all of these little bits and pieces out. I love this tool for doing this intricate dies, right? You could poke them out one by one, but it's nice to do it all together. So we have our pieces. We put those up there. Now the next thing I did was I just sponged this a little. I don't know if you could see it. It's very light. It's a Tahitian Tide, that new blue. You could do balmy blue, or you could do anything, Pacific Point, Night of Navy, just very light. And I'm using the blending brush, and I'm just going to pick up some ink. And I like to start off the paper because the first kind of touch on the paper, it kind of gives you a little bit of a blob to be very technical, right? So I don't want that on my paper. And I'm just going to go around, and it doesn't have to be super smooth because I feel like it's just a background for these beautiful flowers. It's kind of a sky look. And I love this color. I wasn't sure about this color, to be honest, the Tahitian Tide. And I've done a couple of projects with it, and it really is a beautiful color. It wasn't my initial reaction to it, but everything always grows on me. And when I see other people's projects and I think, oh, wow, that's gorgeous, then I have to get the stamp or the die or whatever. So this is, I think, as far as I want to go with this. And now I just want to build my card. So what I did was I laid out the pieces, and I did cut this. I'm going to probably have the darker one there. I did cut this up a little bit. So I'm just going to take my paper snips, and I cut it into 2 pieces. And I actually cut kind of that branch off. I just wanted a little piece. I cut this off. So don't be afraid to cut things up. You just don't want any sharp edges. So you kind of round it a little bit. And I don't know if I'll want this, so we'll see. So I'm going to put this up like this. I actually cut this off. This would hang like this, but I'm really kind of bunching them all up there. So I'm going to cut this off, do a little surgery here, and make it the way I want it. Okay, but I did want this branch, so I want it kind of coming off the paper. So I laid it out, put this here, just to kind of get an idea of how I wanted it. And then this comes back here. So I am going to cut this down a little bit as well. All right, so this will just kind of continue out. All right, and then we want this and this and this. So just gonna kind of eyeball it. Take my liquid glue. I'm gonna start with, see, I did this a little different. Well, that's okay. I have the thicker one in the middle. I'm just looking at it as we talk, or as I talk. So I'm just putting little dabs of glue all over. And I'm just going to put it down here like this. And then we'll do this one. I'm not crazy about this top one, but I was going to cut it off, but I'll leave it. I don't know why. And this one I'm going to put up a little bit. And then we'll have this one. So just little dots. There's nice big areas to put your glue. I was going to leave the bottoms loose, but they kind of really popped up too much. So I decided I wanted to hold them down. So we'll put this one down like this. And then we'll take our leaves and just put a little bit of glue on the branch. All right, I think every time I do a video, I need a new glue. Let's try this. And then it'll come out too fast and I'll have blobs. I have to, I don't know, get better at this. There we go, dot, dot, dot. And I want to be able to get under this a little bit too. So the other branches. And sometimes this takes a minute to stick. It seems to be, because it's thick, and it seems like you can bend it a little bit. So you have to give it, you know, a little bit of a minute there. And I'm gonna put a block on it to just hold it all down and in place until it glues down. But it's very sparkly. I don't know if you can see it. It's very pretty. One to do right here. Okay, and let's get this under here somehow. Okay, I got a little glue there. That's okay. And now I'm just going to take a clear block and just put it down like that, just to hold it in place. And let's get rid of these and move this up. And now let's get our sentiment going while that's sitting there. So I have the Starry Sky, and I'm going to just wipe it with my embossing buddy. It takes off the static, and we're going to ink up Hang in There with Versamark ink. And let's just get this straight. Okay. And then we're going to use white embossing powder. And I have that just in this container. And I just pour this over. So what happens is the white embossing powder sticks to that Versamark ink. I just want to get these little pieces off. And then when you heat emboss it, it will melt the powder just where the ink was. So let me get my heat tool out, and I'm gonna probably silence you guys so you don't have to hear it and you can watch it change. Let me just hold it down with something. Okay, so now if it's all shiny, that means it's embossed. If it's not all shiny, there's still some powder that needs to melt. So let's take this off, and we're going to get our card base, and I'll just glue this on to the card base, and then we can put our sentiment on. Put it right down, center it around, and I love this color, this Starry Sky. I think it's really pretty. And then we can put this on with a dimensional. Hold my dimensionals, and we'll just turn this over, put a few dimensionals on, and then I'm going to add a pearl to it as well. We have these new iridescent pearls, which are so pretty. I don't know if they'll show up as well on camera as they do in person, but they're really gorgeous. So just put this right here, hang in there. So these are the pearls. I don't know if you can see them. And all I did was take a tiny one, and we'll just put that right up here. So pretty. And now we'll do the inside layer. And on the inside of this, I have Faith is About Trusting. I think I'm going to do this to a friend who's all kinds of wonderful. And I'm going to stamp that in the Starry Sky. So we'll just ink that up, to a friend who's all kinds of wonderful. And actually I see a ridge there, so I'm going to flip it. And we'll just go down like this. And then I'll put a couple of leaves. I was going to stamp these, but they really came down low, and I thought it took up too much of the card. So I just did this leaf, and I'm doing it in this Parakeet Party. And let me just get it. All I did was have one go up on the side and one go down on the side. So I thought that was pretty. You could put them on the top or the bottom. I usually put them in corners. And then we'll just get our stamp and seal and put that on. And the card's done. Very simple, and I think it's really beautiful. I think these colors are so perfect for wisteria. All right. To a friend who's all kinds of wonderful. So these are the 2 cards. I hope you enjoyed the video and come back. I will eventually go back on live when I'm all settled in, but for now, you can watch just the videos. All right, you guys have a good day. Thanks for joining. Bye.